best days are just ahead, just ahead, just ahead.
A lot of people, including me, are wondering, when will Trump be president? Will it be this year? Will it be this month? Will it be next month? Will it be in 2024? And I'm here to focus on answering that. I acquired some new information that sheds light on that question, and hopefully I have some type of answer that'll be helpful for you guys on when he'll be president. All I can do at this point is predict, but I do have some interesting information that is relating to when Trump will be president. So I'm here to share that in today's video. My name is Peterjhanna, and this is Peter's Political Perspective. Woo woo! All right, so let me dive right into it. So I have 3 new pieces of information, but I just want to lay out the inauguration 4th thing. Like, I gave that a small percent chance that Trump would be inaugurated on March 4th. So that's just, I mean, some people are like, oh, you were saying. I was like, did you get to the end of my video where I said there was a low chance Trump would be inaugurated on March 4th, but still there was some evidence pointing in that direction? Anyway, so what are the chances Trump, in my opinion, will be president this month in March? I'm thinking around 5% at most. When will Trump be president in April? What are the chances of that? I'm thinking, I don't know, like 15% chance Trump will be president in April. I was very optimistic Trump will be president either in March or April, but then I acquired some new information and now I'm a little bit confused. So acquired 3 new pieces of information. The first one is Trump's Cpac speech, where he says, our brightest days are just ahead. And just ahead, there's no like time definition for that, but just ahead sounds like this year, but in a few months, like 3 or 4 months. So that's kind of the timeline I'm most optimistic and hopeful about. But then you have this meme, which Donald Trump Jr. posted. Let me show you the meme right here. And this meme says, for the love of God, come back. And then Trump's like, what do you think, folks? Should I do it? So I know that Donald Trump Jr. says jokes all the time, but if Trump wasn't going to come back in the next 2 years, even until 2024, that is a very hurtful joke for all of Republicans and Trump supporters, because people who are Trump supporters especially are really suffering. In fact, the whole country is suffering with Trump not being president. So to post a meme on his Instagram being like, ha 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 guys, should he come back and save planet Earth, or should we all just die and suffer? It's not that funny unless he's actually coming back soon. So I look at that meme and I interpret it as he must be coming back soon, because if he's not coming back soon in the next few months, then that's a very cruel joke. If Trump's going to come back in 2024, even 2 years down the line, it's a very cruel joke to laugh it off like, oh, should he come back and save people? Well, it's only funny if he'll come back in a few months. Then we'll just laugh it off and be like, ah ha ha, remember when he said that? But if he doesn't come back in a long time, that's like, Donald Trump Jr., that's a hurtful joke. Don't you get? The people are suffering. So this meme, which is a hint, makes me think that Trump will be president next month or this month. Like imminent. He's like asking the public, like, guys, do you want him back? Do you want him back? Kind of in a way. So this meme is what makes me most optimistic about him returning soon, like this month or next month. But honestly, the chances of that are very low. But then you have Trump's Cpac speech where he said our brightest days are just ahead, which to me sounds like 2 to 6 months, which is still this year. But then I watched an interview with Doug Billings and Sidney Powell, and from hearing that, it sounds to me like we may not see military action until at the earliest December, or most likely next year. And so I find it odd that Donald Trump Jr. is like, oh, maybe in a month or 2. That's what he's implying. Trump is like in 3 to 6 months or something like that. And Sidney Powell is like, you'd be lucky if you see some action this year. It's like, what? So what is going on here? I think part of what's going on, sorry, my little left eye is a little blurry. Part of what's going on here is Trump has been doing a lot of feinting. And by feinting, I mean FEINT, which means he's like, oh, Deep State, I'm going to punch you. I'm going to take you down. I'm going to take you down. And then he doesn't do it. And he's like, all right, I'm going to release some documents. And then he doesn't do it. Oh, I'm going to do this. And he doesn't do it. And then as a result, the deep state expends their ammunition trying to counter these moves that they expect are going to happen, but then they don't happen. So in theory, strategically, we could see feints for like months or even years. Like Trump could keep on pretending he's going to arrive soon and defeat the deep state. He could do that for like 3 or 4 years. Like in theory, I mean, he's been feinting for 3 years, like pretending he's going to hurt the deep state and attack them and arrest them, and he doesn't. For 3 years, he's been doing that. So what stops him from doing it for 3 more years? Well, in my opinion, the whole country crumbling. The United States crumbles and the economy crumbles, then the United States advantage, which is the economy, disappears, and then we can't fund the military, and then the United States isn't the policeman of the world, and then the whole world crumbles. So for the safety of planet Earth, it makes sense strategically to me that Trump would return very, very soon this year. It makes sense. That's what motivates him, in my opinion, to stop fainting and actually do a real attack, a real move, real arrest, big moves, military, stuff like that. So I think it'll be soon. That's where I sit right now. I'm thinking in the next 2 months, maybe like a 15, 18% chance it'll happen this month or next month. Will it happen this year? I'm still at 90% chance that we'll see military action or something big this year. I will be shocked if he waits till next year because there'd be so much damage done to the country meanwhile. So it makes sense that he would wait. I'm sorry, not what he would wait, that he would act as soon as possible. Honestly, the timeline I'm looking at most likely is Trump's whole Cpac speech, which is the next 2-3 months. But like I said, you have Donald Trump Jr. saying very soon, Trump who's saying in a few months, and then Sidney Powell who's saying maybe end of the year or late next year, or like next year or late this year. So these 3 different timelines, I think, is part of the fainting. It's part of confusing the enemy. The enemy doesn't know, deep state doesn't know when Trump's going to attack, especially with all these hints in different directions. At the end of the year, no in a month, no in 3-6 months. All these are contradicting pieces of information, which means he's trying to trick the deep state and catch them off guard. But also it makes it a little hard for me to predict because I'm like, and don't worry, I'm not feeding information to the enemy. They have way better ways to predict when Trump's going to move. So I'm not giving the enemy new information or helping them out by trying to predict when Trump will act. But I do think 50% chance it'll be in the next 6 months. That's kind of where I'm at, which is the timeline we got from Trump and Cpac. Our brightest days are just ahead. Just ahead sounds like 6 months or less we're going to see Trump inaugurated, because brightest days, what that means to me is that Trump is president again. There's no Republican in the country who's going to have a bright day, except for the never-Trumpers, unless Trump is president again. So when he says our brightest days are just ahead, that sounds to me like in 6 months or less. If you disagree, I want to know in the comment section. When he says our brightest days are just ahead, how would you interpret that timeline? Is that in a year or two? Is that in a month or two? Is that in 6 months? I interpret that as like 2 to 6 months. That's what I'm thinking. So, long story short, I'm a little confused on when he's going to return. I'm still extremely optimistic, like 90% chance that he will be president this year. I'm now less optimistic that it'll be in March and April. My confidence in him being president this month or next month has lowered dramatically because I haven't seen any military action. And I see all these different timelines, the Sidney Powell timeline, the Trump timeline, the Donald Trump Jr. timelines, which are all over the place, which are quite confusing. So now I'm like, I don't think it'll be so soon. But who knows? Trump's trying to catch the deep state off guard. I hope it's soon. I know you guys all hope it's soon. But at the end of the day, he's going to act in the time that will be the most successful and produce the least amount of collateral damage. That's his priority, keeping us safe. So we can rest assured knowing that when Trump comes back, it'll be in the optimum time. He's got a plan. He will be president this year or before 2024. I can guarantee you that. That's for sure, because we won't have a country in 2024. Anyway, I want to get into that, but there wouldn't be a country in 2024, so he has to be president before that. I'm very excited about him being president. I want to know what you guys think. What do you think of this meme that Donald Trump Jr. put up? Cruel joke? Or is it an optimistic hint joke that Trump would come back very soon? What do you think of what Trump said at Cpac? Brightest days are just ahead? Or maybe the Sidney Powell, Doug Billings, if you watched that interview, do you think Trump will act this year or will it be next year? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. I feed off your intelligence, your opinions, the information you send me, and I use that to improve the quality and the accuracy of my videos. So let me know. Definitely want to hear what you guys think. So many smart people come to my channel. Just want to give you a quick channel update, which I sometimes do at the end of my videos. I do have a new intro. Hopefully you guys like it. I'm still experimenting with that. Let me know what you think. And I have a new background backdrop. I've been trying to figure out what's a good backdrop for a long time. I ordered this poster from there goes the TV. Is the computer on? It's asking. Yes, the computer is on. I got my God wins. We all know what that means. That's where I stand. And then we got the Trump poster. It says bold as a lion, strength, wisdom, courage, justice. I bought this from the Commander's artist. He's a patriot that does incredible art. And so let me know what you guys think. Is the backdrop good? Did you like the intro? Is this information helpful? And when do you think Trump will be president? I'd love to hear. I'd love to get feedback from you guys. I thrive on this feedback. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. You guys have been troopers, great supporters, and I appreciate everyone's coming back to watch my videos.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So nice.